Alex Toussaint is the breakout fitness star instructor known for his tough love and even tougher workouts, motivating thousands of riders to run, spin, do. Listen, I have a lot of fitness stars on here because I try to find the right workout. I'm still searching. But when I tell you, when I do his workouts, I feel great. And I am not kidding you. It's something about him. Then I read his book, and I learned about his background. He started as a janitor and had a long road to realize his greatness. And I didn't even know it until I started reading his book. And I'm like, that's what I was feeling when I was on that bike, falling off that bike, sweating, and wondering why he had the ability to make me feel great. Well, now Alex is sharing that journey beyond the bike. His memoir and self-help book is called Activate Your Greatness. Here's a sneak peek.
When I got to Peloton, I told myself that I wanted to be the LeBron James of the spin class game. What I meant back then was that I wanted to be great at it. LeBron taught me that whatever you do in life, if you're a lawyer, teacher, grocery bagger, don't wait until your career is over to use your platform. Do it in real time. We all have a platform, no matter what we do in life. We can help those around us, our community, and whatever we do off our court amplifies what we do on it. When provided a platform, we are given a great responsibility to do better.
Ah, there you go. Please welcome to the Tam Fam, Alex Toussaint!
Thank you.
I wasn't kidding when I just said I didn't know your story. I one day looking for a ride on Peloton. I'm like, what's under 20 minutes? And then I see your smile pop up. You know, there's a little grid, and they show you instructors. Didn't know. You knew nothing about you. Hit it, and I just felt like I could do this.
Yes,
I'm going to finish this ride.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was coming through. And then I read where this all started for you. And we're going to take it all the way back to your childhood, and you write about it in the book. Your father, Marshall, was diagnosed with colon cancer. He survived, but you write that your family dynamic was altered in an instant.
Yes.
What did you feel as, look at you, aww.
What's funny is that's my first day in military school, so I'm actually scared right there. I'm terrified.
Oh, we'll get to that moment soon.
Right
So
there.
what was that altering moment for you?
Just watching my father, the person that raised me with such a level of discipline, integrity, purpose, watch him go from a superhero to then watch him feel sunken in life just due to his sickness. I think at a young age, my father was 7 years old when he got diagnosed with colon cancer. And when you watch somebody who you aspire to be every single day have a scared look in their eyes of uncertainty, it kind of puts you in a perspective of, one, I'm thankful to wake up. So if you ever heard me say on the bike, smile, you woke up.
Yeah.
That stems from that day I saw my dad on his hospital bed where I thought he may not wake up the next day. So that's all those things tying together.
Your story is very similar to Michelle Obama. She talks about her father's illness and it being this wake-up call in her childhood because the strong one in the family you see go through this vulnerable point. You are so revealing, and there are parts in this book that I just started sobbing because I have a son, and you talk about being kicked out of preschool, kicked out of elementary school, and then when you were 12 years old, go back to that picture, that's when he was sent to military school in Missouri, and you wrote, I was the youngest person at the military school, not even close to being mentally, emotionally, or physically mature enough to handle it. It made me feel less loved by my parents. It destroyed my confidence, and thus love I had for myself. It still hurts to this day if I really stop and think about it. What was going on in that little boy's life? Because I heard somebody say preschool, elementary school. What was going on in your life?
You gotta realize after my father got sick, my mother went back to school for a PhD. My mother's utilization became less. She didn't have as much time. So 5 days out of the week, my mother was living in my aunt's house. So I was isolated with my dad for 5 days out of the time. There was a recurring cycle of he would deal with his traumas, take it out on me. I'd go into school, take it out in school, come back home, and it was just recycling, just nonstop of just this deep, dark ecosystem of when do I get out of it?
Right.
Thankfully, though, in a way of my dad being alert, he understood that if I don't make a change soon in life, I may not be present for my mother to come home to.
Yeah.
So what he did was through military, sent me to military school, which at the time I hated him for it because I'm in the 6th grade going to school in the middle of Missouri, surrounded by people who have no idea. And I felt abandoned. Instead of my dad leaving, it was like, I'm not worthy, you get out.
Gotta go.
And that right there crushed me to the core.
You talk about and write about in the book getting then kicked out of military school.
Yeah.
Coming home, though, this is the part that I love. You talk about your aunt, Tati Momo.
Tati Momo.
Tati Momo.
Tati
Momo. You wrote, she grabbed both of us, talking about him and his father.
Yes.
She grabbed both of us by the hand and stood there looking into our faces and pleaded with us to quit acting this way.
Yes, ma'am.
She started to cry, and then my dad did too.
Yep.
It was the first time I'd ever seen him cry or show even a sliver of vulnerability.
Yes, ma'am.
And that broke some of the pain.
That broke that tension. That broke that anger that me and him had for each other.
Yeah.
And understanding there's this one chance at this thing called life. I got one father. I can never duplicate it. So instead of that, spending that time of not communicating, not talking, having such a level of resistance, my aunt stepped in and provided assistance and let him know that love overcomes everything. Wow. Without this love.
And so, you and your dad, who actually wanted to be here, he's in the Tan fam, but you mended the relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
He's there at your side. So then your greatness starts to become activated.
Yes, ma'am.
And you start focusing. You ended up working as a janitor at a spin class franchise. And you talk about, you did the dirty work. He said, I did the so-called dirty work.
Did the dirty work, had no choice.
Cleaning off sweaty bikes, cleaning up after people.
Yes, ma'am.
But it helped you it activated greatness.
Without question. I was that person that I still needed to prove my dad wrong. Now we're communicating, but he's still not proud of me because I dropped out of college.
Yeah.
You know, in a Haitian family, it's education and work. And without those two, you out the house. It's just the reality of the situation. I remember walking and running to work to go mop floors, trying to find some sort of level of stability in life. And I started gaining inspiration from the instructors on the bike. Yeah. Never stepped foot in the cycling room, never stepped foot onto a bike. With a mop in my hand, I would listen in between mopping and just, instructors would just motivate me to do something different with my life, have a new perspective, view myself a new identity, therefore I can know where to take it.
Yeah.
So I woke up one day and I asked the owner of the company, who's still my life mentor, can I be an instructor? Somewhat joking.
Right.
And this lady looked at me and said, give me 2 weeks of your time, I'll change your life.
Ruth Zuckerman was that woman's name.
Yes.
Ruth Zuckerman. And then you were off, no pun intended, flying.
Yeah,
so we found a New York Times piece, this was 2017, when the content director at Peloton, then Fred Klein, described you. This is how they described you. Once he's on fire, everybody's wanting to be in your class. 5 minutes into the class, I knew it, Mr. Klein said, in the dazzled tone a Hollywood casting agent might use to recall first meeting Denzel Washington. I was like, he's really great flywheel instructor, but also that voice. This guy could do commercial voiceovers. He says, what is it doing locked in a room with only 50 bites? He said, you were bigger than this. I know you talk about LeBron, but they turned you into Denzel in the New York Times.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
But then there was a phone call from your dad that really made you feel like a star.
Yes, ma'am. The process of when I joined, and thank God for Ruth. I tell myself every single day, every time a new accomplishment happens, I shout her name from the mountaintops because her blessing created so much opportunity, not only for me, for my family, but also for our community, to be honest with you. I think about the time when she told me the industry standard was 15 classes a week. I looked at her and said, I need 25 to make my dad proud. I have so much backtracking to catch up for. Give me 25 so I can make him proud. It took me 3 years of teaching at Flywheel, then a year teaching at Peloton for my dad to call me April 4th, 2016, 4:30 in the afternoon. I remember that day because I searched my entire life for that sense of validation to hear Pops be like, I am proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
From that day, I could tell you, Tamron, from that day on, I went from existing in my life, trying to prove my dad wrong, to now living my life, continuing to prove myself right.
Oh my gosh, you are so special.